Hello again, everyone. Michael here with Felicity, November 8033 Foxtrot, a Cessna flight training device that I built here at home. It is Tuesday, the 17th of January, 2023. We last flew on Saturday, so hope you all have had a decent couple of days. I'm going to try something fun for no real world benefit or value whatsoever. Then we are actually going to get into some more realistic type of flying later, but we're going to see if our Cessna will handle a launch off of an aircraft carrier. I've loaded our 182 up on the X-plane aircraft carrier. The identifier is X-ray Charlie. You'll find it. So we're gonna give it a go and see what happens. I did a little bit of reading on it on carrier flying. Well, probably about this much. There's a very good chance that we may end up in the water if we're able to survive the launch and are able to actually get airborne and fly the aircraft. I think the only difficult part we might have is the actual landing. Our runway is going to be moving. And looks like our ground speed right now is 20 knots. So that aircraft carrier is moving in the ocean about 29 knots along the water. So it'll be fun just to try it, and then depending on whether we can fly a pattern or not, we'll try it a couple of times. Then we're gonna head to my local airport. I've got a real world cross country coming up that we're gonna do that I want to plan for tonight, and then we're gonna fly the route. So that's kind of this evening's agenda. There's a pretty big event going on VATSIM in New York tonight, but I want to get this cross country dialed in. That way I'm kind of one step ahead of the real world flight. And if we have a center online or an approach, we're going to request a VOR approach beyond the scope of private pilot. My instructor is more or less curious how much information I may have actually obtained from virtual flying. So he's essentially gonna more or less quiz me on this approach, but for no grade or anything like that. So that's kind of our plan. So if you are ready to head to the aircraft, I think I'm ready to head to the aircraft. We are loaded up on the starboard side, I believe, of the aircraft carrier. The right side. Should be fun. Like I said, we'll head to the plane. I'll get her started up. We'll let her warm up, and we'll see what we can do. Alright, I'll see you over there in just a couple moments. Alright. Hello again, everyone. Welcome aboard Felicity and the USS X-plane carrier of sorts. M. Stein, hello. Dreamin', hello, my friend. Pleasure to have you both. M. Stein, glad you stopped in. You've had me concerned lately about my cabin heat, so we went ahead and picked up a CO2 detector to keep inside Felicity here to make sure that we all stay safe while we're flying during some of this colder weather. We placing bets. If I was a gambling man, I would need at least 80% chance of knowing that I would accomplish said bet before I would place said bet. I have no idea how fast these catapults launch aircraft. I really don't. So as long as our airframe survives the launch, like I said, I think our hardest part is going to be the landing. Our runway's moving at along the water at 29 knots. So should be kind of fun. And hopefully we can kind of maintain visual. That's another thing we need to do, is kind of maintain visual on our runway. We need to take into account, as we're on our downwind, our runway's moving along, at 29 knots. So should be fun. Let's see what happens. I'm not gonna. You know what? I probably could connect to VATSIM just to so it's logged on the network. That could be funny. Alright, let me just connect to VATSIM real quick. I'm not sure if there's going to be any traffic around. And we'll start up our flight controls, because I forgot to do that during pre-flight. Okay. Alright. We can do a quick walk around. We're in our 182. The tires look good, inflated. No oil leaks. Ailerons, elevators working, baggage storage secure, rudder cables in place, VOR antenna secure. Alright, flaps are working. Ailerons up, down. Heim joints are tight. Fuel caps are on and streamlined. Landing light, taxi light. And I'm kind of doing this in the backwards order here. Green on the right with the strobe, right on the left with the strobe. That looks good there. And there's our beacon on. Beacon's working. And our pitot tube is warm to the touch. Okay, let's get all of these loads back off now. Alright. So see, yep, we do have the appropriate checklist. This will be fun. One of two things is going to happen. We're either going to be able to fly a successful circuit, or we're not, for whatever reason. But pre-flight checked out good. So let's go ahead and get things started here. Please keep your seatbelt on for this. Please. Alright. Circuit breakers are all in. Alternate static is off. Okay. Hobbs 3668.5. 3668.5. So I'm almost to the point where I can disconnect my Hobbs meter from direct to 12 volts and hook it up to my battery switch. But right now I'm just trying to wind it up to the X-Plane hour log. Okay, Hobbs time, tech time is 96.4. Seat track, let's get scooted up here. Make sure that we can reach our flight controls. Okay, that feels good there. Alright, where were we at? Start checklist, seat track, we're scooted up, avionics are off, autopilot's off, carpeet's off. Mixture, let's go for it. Prop is high. Throttle slight. Probably, let's see, out 14 degrees Celsius. We'll probably need 3 on the primer. 1, 2, 3. 3 on the primer. Primer's in and locked. Right. Clear prop. I don't see anything. It looks very, very, very clear. I don't even see a lineman. I don't see a landing safety officer. Alright, I suppose that's alright. We're in a flight simulator, correct? Not necessarily a people simulator. Okay. Primo's in and locked. Brakes are on. Prop was clear. Master on. Beacon on. And mags to start. Fired right up. Let's turn our landing light on for safety. Taxi light. Technically we're on the runway, I guess. Let's take our strobe lights, put those on. Not gonna worry about pitot heat right now. Okay. Lights as required. Mixture. Seatbelts. We're technically on our pre-taxi checklist. I really know where we're gonna be taxiing to. But let's run through this. Seat belts, flaps are up. We'll turn the heat on if we need it. Not gonna worry about it right now. Avionics on. Altimeter. I know we're like at sea level. GPS puts us at about 70 feet. So if I put us at 70 feet there, I just want to confirm, since we are going to be so close to the water, that matches my current X-plane altimeter setting. I don't want that. I want real weather. There we go. So since we're here, well, this might be interesting even more. Looks like light rain, temperature 6, altimeter 29048, visibility is 4.9. Broken cumulus at 3,000 up to 22,000. Maybe we'll be turning that clear back on after all. Let's see what happens here. Oh boy. Marina Halley, hello, welcome, welcome aboard Felicity, thank you, I appreciate that. Alright, we've got 5 miles visibility. Most patterns are within, I can keep a pattern within 2 miles. Right? Right? We can do this. Altimeter is 29048. Yeah, we can do this. This will be alright. Okay. Oil temperatures coming up. What else do we need to do to kind of stay ahead of things here? Where are we at? Altimeter, we set transponder. Let's get that on. Charlie. Let's review here. Real quick. Okay, squawk 7600 for avionics out. I want to say it's 7700 for distress. But we'll be alright. Okay. We're not really going to be able to test our brakes on the roll. Attitude indicator, turn coordinator. Heading indicator to compass, we will go ahead and set that. Compass is reflecting due north. And that confirms with moving map GPS right now. It says we're tracking 360. GPS also says we're tracking 360. Okay. 29048 is our altimeter. We've confirmed that with X-Planes weather, which is what we are receiving. So that puts us, I don't want to say our field elevation, but our aircraft carrier elevation. Looks like right around 64 feet or so. Alright, let's see if we can do this. Our oil temperature's up. So in order to take off, we need to hold brakes at maximum power. We're gonna wait for our power to build. And then we're going to release brakes. And if my understanding is correct, that should go ahead and launch us. Are we ready to do this? Let's go ahead and do a run up. Dreamnid, I agree. So from an aircraft developer standpoint, in X-Plane 11, you used to be able to remove the interior cockpit object here, like our door panels, and the entire slide display would essentially be a window. If we do that in X-Plane 12, it renders the rain effects in the glass strangely. So that's why I've got we see this here, which, I really think it kind of flows because I can kind of see the window handles and whatnot. The caveat is it's just fixed, so I kind of have to tilt my wing if I want to see up or below the horizon. Okay, let's do a run up real quick. The brakes are on, fuel is on both.
trim. It's gonna be important to know where our trim is. Let's get that set for takeoff. That is. Flight controls. Alright, that's good. Instruments. Everything looks good there. Alright, primer's in and locked. Here we go. 1800. Left mag, there's a drop. Right mag, there's a drop. Cycle the prop. 1, 2. Manifold pressure rose, oil pressure dropped. 3. Alright, prop cycle's good. Okay, carb heat, there's a drop. Let's go ahead and power back. Alright, let's read this because this is probably going to be important. There's one illusion to be aware of in real life. Somatogravic illusion, where rapid acceleration feels like you're pitching up, so you want to push down. To counter this, real-life pilots will keep their hands off the yoke during the launch and making sure trim is set to pitch up. Alright, let's put a little nose up trim in there. Let's see what happens. Our run-up was good. ADS-B is nav lights. Let's get those on. Alright, here we go. Alright. Full power. There she's built up and release. Alright, we're way climbing, 2,000, 10,000, or 2,000. Wait, are we climbing? Yeah, we're climbing. Alright, we're climbing at 100, at 2,000, over 2,000 feet per minute. Alright, we got lightning. Alright, there's 1,000 feet. We don't need more than that. Let's bring this back down. Alright, what's our heading? Alright, so we're doing about 100. We were climbing with some power. Okay, let's make a left. Let's make a left downwind, or left crosswind, I should say. Alright, we're trimmed up just slightly. Let me bring that back down. Okay. I don't want to get too far on a crosswind and lose sight of my carrier. Alright, ground speed 90, okay. Alright, we're heading south. That's opposite of how we departed. Alright, alright, we're descending. Let's get back up here. Okay, carrier's in sight. We're about almost midfield. Come on, stay level, Michael. Alright, maybe I beam the numbers now. Alright, there's a 45-ish. Okay, let's try this. Alright, I didn't want to take that downwind too long. Our carrier's moving at 29 along the water. Alright, I'm back up at 1,000. Do I need to be, I should, yeah, I want to probably be at, crap, just passed. We overshot our carrier. I don't know if we'll be able to, okay, maybe, we might be able to get this.
Call the ball. ILS 108.11, heading 350.
We have the ball.
You're overpowered.
I'm not overpowered, I'm a Cessna.
You're overpowered.
I'm not overpowered, I'm a Cessna.
You're overpowered.
No, I have the ball.
You're overpowered.
Negative.
You're overpowered. You're overpowered. You're overpowered. You're overpowered. You're overpowered.
Hush, I have the approach
You're
lights.
low. You're low. You're low. You're low.
Altitude
You're low.
300.
You're low. You're low. Call the ball. ILS 108.11, heading 350.
I have the
You're
ball.
low.
I'm not low.
Call the ball. ILS 108.11.
I don't have a cable to hook onto here.
You're low. Call the ball. ILS 108.11, heading 350. Call the ball. ILS 108.11, heading 350. You're low. Call the ball. ILS 108.11, heading 350. Wave off. Call the ball. ILS 108.11, heading 350. Wave off.
I'm not gonna wave off, we got this. Alright, ground speed 64.
Call the ball. ILS
Have the ball.
108.11, heading 350.
Slip it in.
Wave off. Cut. Cut.
Alright. I can tell you right now, we would not get a standard takeoff from here. However, I'm just kind of curious. If we're moving along the water at 29 knots already, can we use that to our advantage and take off against carrier direction? Because honestly, I don't know how to reset this catapult. However, I am curious if we can actually utilize this. So surprisingly, it allowed a GA aircraft like this to launch. I wasn't quite sure if it was actually going to allow it to launch, not knowing if the aircraft had the specific equipment, I guess, but it seemed to work. Booze 513, thank you. I wonder if that's my stall horn. That might be my stall horn going off. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious. We're gonna utilize this ground speed or this speed along the water, and we're just gonna see if we can get airborne off of the edge of the carrier there. So I've got brakes on, full power, and brakes off. Ground speed 50, 60. Are we flying? All right, we're flying. All right, we're flying. Alright, let's do a 180, try and stick her back in there, and then we'll head back to the FBO and plan our cross country.
Call the ball. ILS 108.11. Heading 350. You're overpowered. You're overpowered. You're overpowered. You're overpowered. You're
I can't
overpowered.
grab a 108.11.
You're overpowered. 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 You're overpowered.
Yes, okay.
You're overpowered.
Thank you.
You're overpowered. You're overpowered.
Sorry for our landing safety officer. He's
Call the ball. ILS 108.11. Heading 350.
we have the approach
You're
lights.
overpowered. You're overpowered. You're overpowered.
Not overpowered.
You're overpowered.
Alright, ground speed 80
Call
knots.
the ball. ILS 108.11. Heading 350.
We have the
You're
ball.
overpowered. You're low.
Not low.
You're overpowered. 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 Cut. Cut. Cut.
Ground speed 66,
Cut.
indicating 70.
Cut. 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 Cut.
Flaps 2.
Cut. 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 Call the ball. ILS 108.11. Heading 350.
All right. All right. Well, that's enough of carrier fun for now. Let's do a real quick aircraft securing here. Parking brake on. Alright. I'm going to initiate us a new flight to our, initiate us a new flight, and while that's loading, we're going to head to the FBO and do the pre-flight nav log. And yeah, so let's see here. So I do want to thank everyone for coming in for our little aircraft carrier trial. Seemed to actually work out. Identifier X-ray Charlie Alpha Romeo. Various aircraft carrier scenarios there. Alright, we're going to change over to our Cessna 172 reality expansion pack. We're going to load up at 4 India Niner, which is going to be my home airport. And give it some daytime VFR. Let's start that new flight. Alright, we'll see you over in the FBO.
All right. So yeah, it can apparently be done in X-plane. So we actually did survive the catapult launch, and we definitely climbed up way past VX even, I think. Our VSI was maxed out way past our 2000. So that was fun. It's just something I wanted to try. Moving along, let's head to home. Okay. We are loaded up here at Morrow County. My next cross country is going to be to 5 Golf 7. So I want to come up with a VFR route for this cross country, and we're going to fly, and then we're going to fly that as well. So if we are here, my first checkpoint, and generally every time I fly out my home airport, is going to be this small town of Cardington. So if I wanted to plot that using my ForeFlight, with 2 fingers on the map, I can open up my plotting ruler, and I'll just say, probably about 2 miles, and 100 heading would be my first checkpoint, and that would be Cardington. So if I wanted to plot that, I would go my home airport for India Niner. Okay, that's where I'm starting, and this is ForeFlight specific. But if I wanted to use that as a checkpoint, um, I would use my reference my reference point, which in this case is for Indian Niner. Then I'm gonna put a slash, and then I'm gonna put a heading of so what was it 280, and then a slash, and then 2 miles. And then what that's gonna do is that's just gonna put a little breadcrumb right there at my VFR checkpoint. What else do I have along the way that I could use? A great one could be the Bud VOR, which is over Marion, Mike November November. But what do I see here? Marion is a very glider active airport, so we do need to make sure and that we are very diligent on our communications. So I could just put the Bud VOR as my next fix or checkpoint. Yeah, and even VFR, I can still use my VORs to fly. And then from here, once we cross over the Bud VOR at Marion, what can we do? What else do we see? I think I'll use the Harpster Lakes as my next fix. So if I wanted to do that, we'd probably say heading 301 out of Mike November November for about 11 miles. 301. And then that'll put me at breadcrumb right there at the Harpster Lakes. Let's see, what else can we do here? What else do we have? Heilman. I could use I can use Heilman as a landmark, and that's anyone can. I can use it because I know it. I know what it looks like. It's a private grass farm. It's a private farm with a grass strip. But I'm very familiar with it, so I can use it as a landmark. An unfamiliar pilot may not necessarily be able to spot it, but for cross-country purposes, I think I would rather use Forest, a small town of Forest, as my next checkpoint. So we do that. .306. I forgot my distance there. What is my distance to Forest? About 23 miles. Yep. What else was I just gonna say? What I'm doing here is essentially no different than taking a plotter and using a paper sectional. The problem is I don't have a current paper sectional, and there's nothing wrong with doing it this way. Alright, so that 306 heading is going to put me directly over Forest. So I want to make this maybe 302. Yeah, that looks better. That's more of a direct shot towards Bluffton. And then I could probably just go direct to Bluffton from there. So how many miles is that? So that is 16 miles. Yeah, that's plenty. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need another checkpoint there. So we go 5G7. Okay, how's our nav log looking? And then when I print these out, then I replace these numbers with more friendly names. Like this 4I9/280/2. Beside that I'll write a beam Cardington, and then we've got the Bud VOR. That really needs no explanation there. And then I would write a beam Harpster Lakes, a beam Forest, with different arrows pointing which way these different landmarks are gonna be. Let's take a look at Bluffton. This is where we're going. I don't need to talk a whole lot about my airport. I know it. I don't know anything about Bluffton currently, so we are going to do a quick new craft. NOTAMs, weather, known ATC delays, your runway lengths, alternate airports, fuel requirements, and takeoff and landing performance. These are regulatory pre-flight requirements that need to be done before any flight. So let's take a look at Bluffton. First thing we're going to look at here is NOTAMs. Expires 2024. Doesn't really affect that one. Doesn't really affect us there. Obstruction obstacle tower light. Okay. Yeah, I'm safe from that out of service tower light there. Alright, weather. Got overcast marginal VFR nearby, it looks like. How are we looking there? Visibility still 10. Overcast at 1800. That's not very conducive to flying. Overcast at 1800. So we may clear those clouds out and keep everything else. Okay, weather, ATC delays, I don't really expect any. I don't know if I'm even going to, well, if we have an Indy Center, I may try and go for the approach that we're going to take a look at here shortly. Runway, two different options, 057 and 25, almost 6,000 feet, and then 18 and 36. So we get a north-south runway, then almost east-west runway. 6,500 feet. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong airport. I was like, that's not right. There we go. That looks better. I was still looking at the ATIS there. Runway at Bluffton, 05 and 23. 4,100 feet long, good asphalt. NOTAMs. Okay, procedure, approach. The aircraft I fly only has VOR 1 and 2. There is no GPS. So we're going to take a look at the VOR runway 23 approach. Okay. So it looks like it's an out and back. It's got a procedure turn. Flag City VOR is the initial approach fix. Okay. So that's that one there. Okay. Okay. So from the Flag City Vortex out on the 053 radial procedure turn back in on the 233 radial at or above 2,500, and then looks like 6.3 DME from the FBC or Flag City Vortex to our missed approach point. And let's see here. If we're doing 90 knots, if we don't have DME, how are we going to do that? We're going to time 4 minutes and 12 seconds. I'm glad you brought that up, DreamNade, because the aircraft that I fly is not going to have DME. The only thing that I'm going to have is a timer. So 4 minutes and 12 seconds from Flag City Vortex to the missed approach point at 90 knots. Okay, so let's just go ahead and plot our course to let's just add the FBC Vortex in here because we know we're going to need it. So I'm way excited. I ordered a iPad mini, a reconditioned one from Amazon. My iPad Pro here is just a little bit too big to keep in the real aircraft sometimes. So I ordered a mini. I'm kind of excited to use that in both the simulator and the cockpit because I ordered a RAM mount for it too. So I'm anxious for that. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and pack for this. M. Stein, I agree. It'll fit in my flight bag better too. Okay, I think we'll be good. So if I wanted to, I could take this nav log. Not if I wanted to. This is what I do. I take this nav log here, and then I send it over to flights. And then when I'm in flights here, I can pull up this nav log, and it kind of makes it a printable version. And this is what I print off, and then this is where I write. Here would be a beam Cardington. In your various waypoints. I think we've got enough to get this flight going here. Get a bit of a headwind. Okay, I was curious why it said 56 nautical miles, and I realized it was no longer direct. So that's the increase because I know it's 51 miles direct from 4 India Niner to 5 Golf 7. So now that we are armed with everything that we need, let's go ahead and head back to the aircraft and fly the route. I don't know if we're going to have time to make the return trip, but we are going to at least fly the outbound. So, alright, I will see you back at the aircraft in just a moment.
Alright, welcome back. If you went anywhere. Hope you at least got out of the aircraft and stretched for a little bit. Okay, we are in our 172 November. Okay. And then what I've done, just so I had it, is previously I went ahead and printed out, excuse me, okay. First officer says hello. So what I've done is I went ahead and printed out my approach plate just so I can have a visual copy as well, or just a hard copy, so I may not necessarily have to look at the iPad or anything like that. And that's kind of my goal, is not to look at the iPad once I get to the flag city. Theoretically, as long as I'm outbound at Flag City on that 233, and I use my timer, we should be able to make our runway environment. Alright, let's get our bird started up so she can start getting warmed up. Okay. I'm gonna skip our walk around and pre-flight. Let's just, for intensive purposes, intents and purposes. Let's consider our walk around complete. Okay, start checklist. Seat track, let's get scooted up here. Avionics are off, autopilot's off, car paint's off. Make sure it's gonna go full rich. Throttle slight. 5 degrees Celsius here. Let's go 3. Parameters in and locked. Brakes are on. Let's make sure she's clear. Clear prop. No, she's clear. Master on. Beacon on. And mags to start. Alright, lean out a little bit here on the ground. The rep model's a bit more picky about the mixture on the ground. Okay, lights, landing light on. Wheel pressure's good. Let's wait for oil temperature to come up for a bit. Mixture is where it needs to be right now. Seat belts, I'll get those on in just a moment. Flaps up, let's make sure they come down and go up. There, flaps are working. Okay, we're on our pre-taxi checklist, flaps, avionics. Okay, we're on Unicom currently. Okay, what else do we need? Unicom. Heading indicator to compass. Let's set that real quick. I know my field elevation here is 1,086 feet. Puts our altimeter right around 2971. Now the curiosity, what's Marion giving us for altimeter? $2974. Okay. It's still fairly accurate real world weather. Alright. Doesn't look like we have center online, but we can still fly this approach. It's not a problem. And that's a bit unusual. So X-Plane 12 does this really neat thing. I really need to pay more attention to it though when I'm designing airports, because X-Plane 12 will populate an aircraft inside of an empty ramp start, and from a aircraft or an airport development standpoint, you know, when we put a ramp start in, you can select the size of aircraft that the ramp start can accommodate. But the thing with X-Plane 12 is sometimes it'll model kind of a larger plane that may not have the runway space to take off. Just kind of looks silly at some of the airports, that's all. And also, full disclosure, the route that we plotted out is the same route that I looked at earlier, so I did go ahead and print off our nav log just so we have this handy as well. You know, 4 flight's a good situational awareness. We're gonna be far across country. Planning's gonna be a big part of it. The only one I did not include is that last VOR, but that's sorry. So we're here, we're a beam Cardington. And then here we're a beam Harpster Lakes. And this is Forest. Okay. Alright. Our temperature's up enough, has come up enough to taxi. Looks like the winds are coming out of that way. So we got a little bit of a quarterly tailwind as we taxi down our runway here. Let's put some wind correction in as we're taxiing down our runway. Alright, so 309 is what I want my first heading to be, roughly. Tell you what, here's what I want to do. Started to get a little bit squirrely there. Alright, temperature is 5 degrees. We can kind of hang out here and do our run up. Tell you what, need to take a quick break. Let our oil temperature come up just a little bit more, and then when I come back, we'll do our run up. And we will go ahead and depart. I'll be right back. rep is yelling at me to lean the mixture out. Alright, are we ready? I think we're ready. Okay, we're just going to use this nav log here. It says 280 for about 2 miles. And then what is our bud frequency? We forgot to write that down. 1090.8. Huh, how about that? It's right there on my nav log right in front of me. 1090.8. That's gonna be our first one. Looks like it's captured it, so let's make sure it's active. Right, based on that Morse code identifier, that is active there. And our next VOR is gonna be Flag City. That's 108.2. Okay. Alright, so about 2 miles out, we'll head direct to the Bud VOR. Did we do a run-up? We did not do a run-up yet. Is our pre-taxi checklist complete? Let's go over that. Transponder, we're on mode Charlie. Okay. ADSB on with nav lights. And let's get our strobes on. Heading indicator to compass. Looks good there. Okay. Brakes are on, fuel's on both. Trim. Set for takeoff. Flight controls, down on the right, up on the left, down on the left, up on the right. Elevator, rudder, true and responsive. Okay, instruments all look good. Primers in and locked. 1600? 1700. Left mag, there's a drop. Right mag, there's a drop. Right, everything looks good there. Oil pressure, oil temperature, suction was good. Fuel wise, we got half tank here. Each wing is half full of fuel. So we do have enough fuel for our route. What do we need for daytime? VFR. Enough fuel for our destination, plus an extra half hour. But probably can never have too much fuel either. I'll tell you what, here's what I want to do, or at least what I want to try and do. I hope you all don't mind, but I would really like to fly by the nav log here. Although it doesn't, unless doesn't necessarily show you where I'm located at. But if you don't mind, let's just do it like this. Alright, first waypoint is heading 280, about 2 miles out. Alright, park and brake off. Morrow County traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot is taking runway 28 straight out departure, Morrow County. Hopefully the clouds cooperate with us. Alright, strobes are on. Full power. Rudder for center. Airspeed's coming alive. Neutral on the aileron. Watch it rotate. Positive rate. Climb out about 80. Okay, I do see Cardington off to my left here. Alright, so let's head to the Bud VOR, which we know is also directly over an airport, so we can also look for an airport as we head to our Bud VOR, which is right on a heading of, what is that, 305 or so. We may be hitting a cloud here. I don't know if we're going to be able to avoid this one. Let's just hang out here about 2,000 feet. And hopefully it'll be clear as we head west, so we can get up to 2,500 to fly our approach. I mean, I guess technically we could at that point, because then we can just fly it like an IFR approach. Alright, heading 303, so that's about what I'm at. Ground speed's 85, indicating 110-ish. Definitely got a lot of headwind component against us as we head out here. Alright, let's go up 2,500 and see what happens. If we hit that layer, we'll come back down. Yeah, I think I did forget to start the timer. I'll start the timer once we're over the Bud VOR. Let me just get that ready. Alright, so out of the bed VOR, we're going to fly a heading of 301 for 11 miles. Should be about 10 minutes on that leg. Alright. Should be approaching Marion soon. The Bud VOR. Looks like I've got the field in sight. Marion traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, it's about 3 miles to the southeast, can be overflying the field, 2,500 Marion. Alright, so our next leg is what again? About 10 minutes, heading 301. Right. Well, we're flying Marion currently. Mike November, November. Heading 301. Confirm heading indicator to compass. After the compass stops moving. Right, 10 minutes. And we're looking for the Harpster Lake. It's going to be 3 square-looking lakes. Alright, we know we're going to need our Flag City VOR, FBC, 108.2. Let's get that tuned in there. Let's make sure it's active. Without going back to forward flight to look at our frequencies, I'm going to assume that's active. Looks to be about right based on our heading. So let's just assume that one's active as well. My goal here is to fly this route without the aid of, GPS, I guess, for lack of a better word. The forward flight moving map. I'm hoping that with the ortho scenery and the X-World America and Global Forest, that I should at least be able to recognize the landmarks that I've picked out. I do want to thank everyone for coming in and flying this evening. Starting off with something a bit unique. I gotta admit, I did have a lot of fun on that aircraft carrier. Might have to try it again on a clear day. I will do clear skies and just see how it goes. Situational awareness, ground speed right now about 89, indicating about 110. 2,500 feet. More or less a heading of, well, I was on about 301, now I seem to be about 310. Heading 301-ish. About 3 minutes, 45 seconds since I started the timer. I think I'm going to start looking out my right window, maybe about 9 minutes or so. Looks like we're making a little bit of a faster ground speed than what my nav log is showing. Clouds look kind of ominous off to the north there. The south doesn't look too terrible. Five minutes, 45 seconds. See a body of water coming up here, but I'm looking for 3 distinct bodies of water. This looks like a single body of water. We're only 7 minutes and 14 seconds out. Don't think that one's it. Alright, we're coming up on 9 minutes now. Coming up on 10 minutes on this leg, and I don't have my lakes in sight. See where we're at here. Alright, so they must not have been modeled. I definitely would have seen them. So, what do we need to do now? We're 302, looking for the town of Forest. Forest is not very big, so if I blink, I'll probably miss it. So what I'm gonna have to do is update the OSM data for this ortho tile and recook the tile. That way, next time I want to fly this route or use that as a landmark, I'll actually see it as water. So because I missed that landmark, it's going to be hard to determine, you know, the time to the next landmark. So I'm just kind of looking for the little village of Forest. But either way, we're going to this Flag City VOR to fly the VOR runway 23 approach. So I may have to do a little scenery work if, to use some of these waypoints again. Let's see. Okay, we haven't come to Forest yet. Let's just see if I can at least spot it. Germany, you do make a valid point. May not see those lakes in real life. It may look like a cornfield. Yeah, I didn't look at the surrounding VORs enough to determine a good VOR route like that. Alright, there's Forest. I do have Forest in sight. Then from Forest, our next fix was the Flag City VOR. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to move my Flag City VOR up to nav 1. And then that will eliminate my DME. So then I have no choice but to fly this approach with my clock. It won't show my DME there. Because Flag City has DME. Alright, so here is the town of Forest. Alright, Flag City, outbound 053 from the Flag City VOR. Okay, just kidding. I didn't want to do this yet. I want to do that when I'm at my first approach fix. I still want to know how far I am from Flag City VOR currently. It's like we're about 12.8 miles from our Flag City VOR. We're not going to have time, unfortunately, to fly the return leg back home. Once we land here, I'm going to have to call it a night. Sometimes I look out on the horizon, try and find a landmark or something to fly towards. Try to keep my flight path straight. But again, I have to look towards the ground for something to fly towards. There's not many landmarks on the horizon. Alright, so let's take a look at this VOR runway 23 approach plate real quick at Bluffton. It's 5 Golf 7. Let's see. So we're going to be on Unicom. So it looks like Flag City VOR is only about 7 miles from Bluffton, and we're 8 miles. Started to get off course there. Alright, so as we go out, we're going to remain within 10 nautical miles of that VOR. Miles out. Okay. And then we're 053 outbound. Three miles, and then we're going to turn to a heading of 053. No, 052. Oh, 053. Yeah. One point three. See if I can see the VOR. With X America, a lot of the VORs are actually rendered. Alright, I would say we're probably close enough. Or else we're going to be tracking that VOR all day. 053 is going to be our heading. to it. There it is. 31053. Yeah, Einstein, there's not a whole lot of VOIs up that way. There's a couple more as you make the rest of the trek up. Or there's a couple more up northwest that way. Alright, about 5 miles out. Let's make a 45-degree turn to the right. Or turn to the left. About 45 degrees. Let's time this out for 1 minute. And we need to re-intercept on 233. Alright, there's 50 seconds. Alright, let's do a 180 degree turn to the right, standard rate turn. This must be Findlay area. I think we got a pretty big push during that standard rate turn because our inbound leg didn't last nearly as long as I expected it to. want a 232. Alright, we're 7.4 miles away from our initial approach fix. And then I think if we nail this landing and this approach, we'll go do one more carrier launch. And then I'll have to call it a night. Must be over an airport. I see an airport. I hope to God it's not our airport. I think it's the Findlay airport. Because I saw 2 runways there. We're still 6 miles away from our initial approach fix on our airport. How are we looking? 2,400. Let's get back up there. Look at our airspeed, get our airspeed under control. We need to be doing 90 knots. Because once we pass our initial approach fix, we're gonna get 4 minutes and 12 seconds up on the clock, and if I don't have our runway environment by then, we'll have to go missed. Still trying to track this VOR here. Two point four from our initial fix. The sun is blinding. Ground speed 86 knots. 1.7. Alright, I'm gonna say we're about over it. Alright, let's get 4 minutes on the 12 seconds on the clock. Start now. We're gonna start our descent at 90. $85, indicating 100. Minimum is 1,360 feet. Minimum is 1,360 feet, minimum visibility 1 mile visibility that we have. And 4 minutes and 12 seconds. WestJet, hello. Carry-offs went surprisingly well. We're going to do one more after I stick this approach here. I'm flying across country that I've got planned for the real world coming up this weekend, so I wanted to do some real world planning and charting for that. Alright, we're at 2 minutes 45 seconds, ground speed 85. Alright, runway is made. I have the poppy at least. Five Golf 7 traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot is 3 miles northeast on the VOR 23 approach. Traffic. Bluffton, that's the name of it. A little bit high, let's power back. Not too much though, let's watch that ground speed, 81. Alright, we can probably take this all the way in with 10 degrees of flaps. Alright, so this one was definitely like in line with the VOR. Bluffton traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, final approach, 23, full stop, Bluffton. Alright, there's an exit down here. Alright, that wasn't terrible. We'll go down here and park. I'm going to leave the aircraft running and load up on our carrier so that I don't have to shouldn't have to restart the aircraft or anything. M. Stein, thank you so much for those bits. We'll go down here. We'll park. I'm curious to take a look at the moving map to see the actual flight track. Well, once I get our aircraft under control here. Yeah, this ground wind was just heavy. Alright, where's the socket? Winds are coming from that way. Alright. So we're gonna, looks like we can park over here. DreamNid, thank you so much. It was always a pleasure. Alright, we're gonna do, let's see, let's flip around here. Disconnect from BatSim. And we will reload up back on the USS X-Plane carrier. But before we do that, let's take a quick look here. I honestly don't think that was awful. So I couldn't see the lakes either because I was too close and they weren't rendered. Either way, I'm going to check on that. Forest. Once we saw forest, we were good. We grabbed our VOR. I'm curious what happened with our hold here. Yeah, is that wind? What I thought was a straight line. Nope, I was flying, and then that wind, and then I had to correct. Overall, wasn't too bad. So yeah, I think this one, my next real world cross country will be a walk in the park. Now, we even flew the VOR approach. So let's get reconfigured here for another quick carrier launch. So anybody that's recently joined can check that out as well. I forgot. We're gonna use the 182, not the 172. So we are gonna shut down here. Disconnect from BatSim. And let's see. Change aircraft. We're gonna use our King Katmai. And the identifier is X-Ray, Charlie, Alpha, Romeo 1. So last time we used real world weather. We're gonna see what it looks like here. IFR non-precision, it's probably not gonna be pleasant at all. At the beginning of our stream, though, we did use real world weather. It was thunderstorming. It wasn't the greatest, but if we can't see, at least then we had 5 miles visibility. But if we're IFR non-precision, we may not be able to see at all. Then I am going to have to clear the weather out. Yeah, we might want to clear this weather out. Let's see what it says about our current weather. Oh, okay. Alright, so it wasn't as it said. So we're VFR broken. Cloud layer is 2,800 feet. We have rain on the surface. Cloud layer is 2,800 feet. Visibility 4.6. Precipitation light. Alright, let's do it. We'll go for a ride. We are in our 182. There she is on the hook. Alright. I'm going to expedite my startup here. Master, beacon, throttle order, mixture, max to start. Alright, we have engine rotation, landing light on, taxi light on, nav light on, strobe light on. Let's just get all of our lights on. Alright. We're going to give her full power. We're going to wait for that power to spool up. And then we will release our brakes. And we will get going. Hopefully. Let's make sure we have a bit nose up trim. Let's be prepared for with our elevator. As we noted previously, when we did this the first time, we were already moving along the water at 29 knots. So we always have to keep that into account. Altimeter was 29046. Looks about right. Okay, I think we'll do this. Heading indicator to compass, yes, that's going to be important. We need to monitor where our aircraft carrier is. Alright, one more carrier launch and then pattern and then landing, and then I am going to have to call it a night. Brakes are on. Full power. And she's built. Release. Up, 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 away we go. All right. There's our launch. We need to monitor our altitude. Remember, we want to be about 1,000 feet. That's, I guess, technically a pattern. We need to monitor our heading. We've got no visual for reference. All we have is our aircraft carrier. Alright. Make a downwind. Remember, our runway is constantly moving at 29 knots. It's running to the north. We confirm that with our compass and our heading indicator. Alright, there she is already. We're already way past the beam of numbers there. Let's make a base. Alright, there's our boat. I'm gonna roll her into the early final so I don't have to, so I can kind of catch it this way instead of trying to overcorrect. I don't want to overshoot it. Alright, I think we'll be alright. Ground speed, what's our ground speed? 100. We need to slow down. Altitude, oh, 300, 250, too low.
Call the ball. ILS 108.11. Heading 350.
33 Foxtrot, we have the ball.
Call the ball. ILS 108.11. Heading 350.
No, we're on the visual.
Low. Call the ball. ILS 108.11. Heading 350.
We have the ball.
Wave off.
Not waving off.
Wave off.
I'm in a Cessna.
Wave off.
No thanks.
Wave off.
I'm PIC.
Wave off.
No,
Cut.
I'm cutting
Cut.
and slipping.
Cut.
Don't tell me what to
Cut.
do.
Cut.
Yeah, landing safety officer's kind of picky. Alright, we made it. It was a very rough landing. But we made it. We'll have to do some of these more often. Yeah, he really wants me to wave off. He probably wasn't expecting the 182 to come up on his flight deck either. Alright, let's secure our aircraft real quick. Flaps going off. Yeah, not quite a square. We couldn't make it a. I didn't want to make it a rectangular pattern because, as I would, been flying downwind, the boat would have been kept going up, and then I would have had a really, really long final to a point where I may not have seen the boat. So, but that was fun. All right, we'll head back to the FPL. We got a couple of minutes to debrief, and we'll say goodbye.
Alright, well, I do want to thank you all for coming in. Kind of a very some fun flying today. We started out at that aircraft carrier. Actually did two in the pattern and the 182 there. It was definitely something different. I'm honestly surprised that the airframe survived the launch. I'm not sure exactly how fast those catapults will propel an aircraft, but we we were definitely at rotate speed real quick, and we were way past VX too on our climb out. That climb out was way past 120, and our VSI was maxed out past 2,000. That was fun. But more importantly, and that's what I set off to do with the cross country flight. I think the planning and the execution of said plan turned out relatively decent. Had this body of water probably been rendered, I probably would have seen that and then been able to locate, known my fix better. Had a better idea of my fix to be able to time out for forest, and then from there grab our VOR. But yeah, the VOR 2-3 approach relatively straightforward, and that's one thing that, and I'll say this, that one thing that I've taken from VATSIM and Pilot Edge is the ability to have been able to fly this approach, because that's where I learned how to read an instrument approach plate, and what all the various let me just pull this up here real quick. I didn't know what, yeah, I can understand what I'm reading, but I didn't know what a lot of it meant. Understanding how to fly a missed approach by looking at, your pictogram down here. Knowing how to fly the approach by looking at your profile view here. How to fly the approach with a clock based on speed and from your first approach to missed approach. This is stuff that I learned from you all. So again, I can't say this enough, but I can't thank you all enough for your help along the way here. Let's take a look at objectionable. Let's see. It's a very good question. Let's find out. Let's see here. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. Short answer is that it means that the airspace around the airport is still under review after a proposed change. So I'm assuming that objectionable is going to be this 9OH8. Let's see. Yeah, because this is Lutz. 9087. 2087 is Schaller. Finley's listed there as FDYs. So that objectionable has to be 9 Oscar Hotel 8. Faro Airport. Private use permission required. So I can only assume it's this airport because it's the only one that's in the area that's not named. Well, that's not coming up as objectionable. So I can only assume it's referring to this Faro Airport. Now, what the change is that they may be trying to accomplish, that I have no idea. But based on this brief Google search, if it says objectionable, let's take another source real quick. When a person proposes to construct, alter, activate, or deactivate a civil or joint use civil military airport, or to alter the status or use of such an airport, they must comply with Part 157 Code of the Federal Regulations. Upon completion of the airspace review, and the airspace has not passed the review process, the airspace is deemed objectionable. When this occurs, the airport will be printed on the VFR chart with the words objectionable next to it. So I guess what I'm going to take from that is I probably shouldn't even consider flying to that one. So yeah, learned something there. That's definitely interesting. Thanks for bringing that up, Einstein. I probably wouldn't have even. I saw that there, but I probably wouldn't have questioned it. So thank you for questioning that, because then we all learned something. Well, I know I learned something. I can't speak for you all, but at least I learned something. So hopefully you learned something, and that's what at the end of the stream and at the end of the flights, that's what I set out to do, and just try and take something new away from every one of these flights. So that's about all the time that I have for this evening. I do want to thank you all for coming in and hanging out and chit-chatting for a while. What is today? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I probably won't see you for a week or so. We got the kids coming up. And then it's our weekend with them. But probably Monday. Next Monday, we'll be back up in the air if I'm not able to sneak something in over the weekend or whatnot. But family first, and then flight sim. But anyway, seriously, thank you all so much for coming in. It's always my pleasure flying with you all. Flying is fun, but it's always more fun when it's more than one. And you all make that happen for me, and I can't thank you enough. M. Stein, thanks for coming in and hanging out. DreamNid was here earlier for our carrier launch and for our cross country. Marina Holly, first time chat. Thank you so much for that. WestJet, buddy, always a pleasure. Hope you've had a good couple days, and it's been a while since I talked to you, it seems. Booze513, thanks for coming in and hanging out for a bit. Great night, great flight. Hope you all take care and stay safe. And if you are new here, please feel free to go ahead and follow so you can catch the next one. But as always, if you come back, I greatly appreciate it. Let's see who we can send you over to for the rest of your evening entertainment, a continued evening enjoyment. Let's go. Give me just a second. I'm trying to find it. There's a specific channel that I wanted to head to. Let's see. Looks like he's no longer streaming. Alright. Alright, I'll send you over to Bill for Lee. He literally just popped on, so he's just getting started, it seems. You guys may still have a whole other flight ahead of you. Anyway, you all take care and stay safe. Please, if you can't stay for his entire stream, at least just please stay for the raid. And for the YouTube viewers that are out there, I do want to thank you for following the channel as well. And feel free to say hi if you feel like it. So you all take care and stay safe, and we'll see you next time.